Welcome to Coaching Uncovered. I'm Ujjaval Buch, and in this series, I speak with coaches who have walked the path, done the inner work, and now creating real impact. These are the stories of reflections, courage, and clarity, and I hope they inspire you wherever you are on your journey. Today, I have a pleasure to talk to Pooja Dhruv, one of our very good coaches. She's already a certified coach and currently on the pathway of ICF credentialing. And I would invite her to talk about her journey as we engage into this conversation. I am sure you will really love her energy and maturity as she enters in this conversation with us. Hi Pooja, welcome.
Hi sir, thank you so much. Those are such kind words, and I'm so glad to be here on this podcast with you. It's actually a privilege to have a conversation and to give out the deeper insights to the people who really want to work on the path of coaching. And just to tell you that sir has actually been the person to teach me what coaching really is and how to go about in the field. So, sir, thank you so much.
Most welcome, Pooja, and thank you for enduring through my program. So, you are a risk taker, and that shows.
Yeah.
Okay, if it is okay to start, right in the beginning. So, when you started your coaching journey, what was happening in your life, which when coaching came into picture for you?
So when coaching came into picture for me, so just to go a little deeper, I'm already a pranic healer, and I'm very strong on understanding the spiritual nuances of this world and how life really works. So there was a point of time where I lost my dad, and there was a moment where I was trying to understand that how do I put myself through doing the world works, paying off the loans and handling a manufacturing setup. And then at the same time, there's this other part of me which was trying to understand that, okay, I'm also a spiritual person. So, how do I create an integration between both of them? So, while it was a journey where my spiritual understanding came into existence through coaching, to be really, put it like that. And while I was trying to understand how coaching really works, I started off as a facilitator, like a corporate trainer, and I give trainings to a lot of organizations. And every time I gave trainings, I used to think that if I want to reach to that one person and talk to them for a while and make them understand or help them to understand that what really focus means or clarity means, or how you can find your purpose while working with them, that kind of created a perspective that, okay, if I'm not counseling and if I'm not mentoring, then what is a different way where I don't need to push people to get through something, but actually enable people. So coaching came out as a medium in that ways.
Wow.
That was quite interesting as a journey.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a point of time where I had to heal, from my father's expiration, and then I was like trying to understand that how things work. So that moment, actually, coaching came to me. And that's how I met you as well.
Yeah.
And I realized that, okay, so if I can choose some modality where I don't need to tell people this is your path. You have to find out your own path. All we need to do is we need to tell that, okay, we see, what do you think, what is the best solution for you in this situation? And that was one realization through coaching which came across to me, was we don't have to make perfect choices. We just have to make best possible choices.
Yeah.
That's how coaching taught me so far.
And as you went through the certification program, any personal shifts or inner shifts that you experienced that you still are able to recall?
Oh, yes, absolutely. One of the major shift that came through was when, I started coaching one-on-one to all the clients, all the executive coaching especially. I realized that the moment I'm not listening to people, because the first thing that you learn is listening. And everybody talks about listening, that we should not hear, we should listen, and how to develop the skill of listening. Coaching actually ensures that you have to be in the present moment for that person, and absolutely throw out your judgments and just listen to that person with an absolute resilient mind is what that experience happens. And that is exactly the biggest shift that happened within me. And alignment, finding the purpose. So I started having the understanding and realizations that what if I'm able to coach. I may sound a little out of the context, but what if I'm able to coach Donald Trump? And what if I'm able to change the world and bring in world peace? Because when you start understanding coaching, you start creating your purpose. And you realize that when you are changing the shifts, and you're seeing the shifts in the leaders, the thought process and the mindset, the impact it creates on a lot of people in the organization. And I always believe in this perspective that happy leaders create happy families, and happy families create happy economies. So it is so important to understand that part, that inner alignment will help others to create their own inner alignment. So that were few shifts, actually, not just one. I said a lot of shifts within myself, but yeah.
Wonderful. Yeah, absolutely. And I have seen you, through and through. So if I can also ask you that, from the time you already are a very self-aware person, and coaching added to that self-awareness, but some part of you, what you recall from that time, it has changed the way you show up in your professional, personal, social life.
Absolutely.
Any one thing that was a trigger has changed the way you show up?
So one of the important way of me showing up was that I started believing in myself. And I realized that, normally in the Indian context, we have a habit of, helping people. And when we mean help, we start advising. That's the first thing that we do. So I realized that advising is not helping, it is actually more draining. And how I started showing up in front of people was that I had my better skills in questioning technique. For example, if I quote it like that. So I was like, okay, so what do you think? What do you see in the next level? Where do you see yourself in the next level? The shift that started becoming was that I started becoming an inspirational person. Only and only by ensuring that people feel safe around me, and people can talk whatever they want to, with me creating without any judgments. And that was only possible when I understood that in the coaching competencies, as they say, that you have to be in an absolute non-judgmental attitude. So that perspective started coming in, and people started feeling that, and more number of people started feeling that, okay, let me open up and let me talk more, and let me just get inspired. So what really happened was that at one point of time, even through in the training session, because training and coaching are two different modalities, and there is always a question around that if you're a trainer, how do you become a coach? Because training is all about that you have to speak, and you have to ensure that there is some level of accountability. But coaching is all about you speak and I'm not speaking, and you think, and how much self-aware can you become. So that is where the point of time I tried to integrate coaching also into the training session. So with simple things like, so what do you feel? What did you learn from this activity? What did you feel what did you learn from this topic that you are, how are you going to take it back, to your home? How are you going to apply it? So that's how it created an energy around me. And that energy was helping a lot of people to just tell me that, okay, this is the problem. And I was like, okay, so what do you want to do next? That's it. And they had some ideas. Suddenly they had some lot of ideas. So when coaching helps you to become more as a self-aware person, you start creating a perspective around yourself, and people start believing in yourself, because the moment I meet myself to the depths of the level, people will start meeting me to that depth. That is what really happens.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I have seen you practicing almost continuously with your facilitation practice. I think coaching practice is also picking up, because you are also gathering your hours required for ICF credentialing. So if I may ask you that any preferred tools, techniques or methods that you use to bring insights into your clients?
Right. One of my favorite was appreciative inquiry to start with, and I always adored this idea of appreciative inquiry, because what appreciative inquiry is that we have to learn to talk in a way which feels appreciative. Because in this era, communication is a very, very strong point, and how you strategically communicate involves a lot of energy, a lot of effort within yourself, that we don't have to talk to ourselves. People have a habit that we are too much into our head, and we have to come out of our head and start talking to people. So how do you do that? You actually become very appreciative of that person, and you have to start seeing those people as stories. And okay, what do you feel that? How did that moment change with you? There's this one point of time where when I learned appreciative inquiry. I used to, do a lot of, I still do a lot of traveling. So when I sit in Uber and, I never think that, okay, this is the driver, I should not talk. I never think like that. I always have a good perspective that whoever I'm sitting with, I'm meant to meet that person, and I'm meant to, have some discussion which is going to change me and him. So I started talking that, so aap kahan se hai bhaiya? Aur aapka experience kya hai? So, the moment you start putting in that curiosity, that, acha, okay, aapne life mein itna sara kiya. And he started opening up as stories and stories, and, and the way it kind of created that environment that he felt that, acha, ye madam ke saath agar itna sara baat sirf main hi baat kar raha tha, madam aapne to kuch bola nahi. But I was like, no, I was just curious to understand what you're trying to say. So I think appreciative inquiry kind of helped that, because it's a beautiful modality to apply through coaching, and we have to tilt the soil. We don't need to go in the ground. We have to tilt the soil, and we have to ensure that the person is able to refocus themselves, rebalance themselves back to where they are, put themselves into alignment. And before applying the coaching techniques to anybody else, it's important to learn how to do self-coaching as well.
Wow.
So when I'm having some issue, or I'm stuck somewhere in some decision, I want to buy 2 houses, I'm just stuck which house I want to buy. So I just do a self-coaching that, okay, what do you feel? Forget the numbers, forget wherever that is, or location or something. Okay, well, where do you feel? Where do you want to go with this house? Where do you see yourself in this house? How does that house make you feel? And if you don't like this house, then what do you not like about it? So that kind of, again, another technique which I loved was, the theory of polarity, which kind of helped me to bring in highlight the positives and the negatives of all of that, and bring out a particular decision, because that again is a beautiful tool of decision making in the coaching segment, which again you taught, sir. So, and the way you teach as well, that kind of, the teacher is also so important, so the way you teach, that 3 hours every single Wednesday, it felt like, oh my God, where am I? I'm not even in this world. I'm on some other planet. So, I used to always wait for you that, okay, when are you coming? I'm just waiting. I'll just tell no to all the parties, to all the functions, to everybody, even if it's my family. Saying, no, I'm not. I'm just here in that Zoom call that we are doing.
Yeah, I think that was a joy of togetherness, and the entire cohort made it possible. And I also learned through the process. So yeah, thank you for
Sir, so if I was always inquisitive of knowing that, what is your favorite topic or your technique that you use?
I think over a period of time, I have realized that the best technique is to remain present, listen to the client, and rather than pre-thinking the questions, create questions only after listening to the client, and then depending on the need, if any tools, techniques to be used to help them to advance their own agenda that they are bringing in the session. So, and one of the things that I always keep on learning is how to work with the client so that they disarm themselves. Because one of the biggest barriers to any change is they are guarded. Their ego barrier is not letting us go through beyond and ask questions. So, once they disarm themselves, then I think our questions reaches their heart and mind, and rest is the magic.
So nice. So when you say the word disarm, that was such a beautiful metaphoric perspective. what really means, disarm? Like, what is that person in that space? How does it look like?
Yeah, so what happens is that, say somebody is willing to make a change, but they are not able to, and they don't know how to. So in the process, they are fighting within themselves, and they don't want to get defeated.
Right.
So within themselves, they have a demon and they have a warrior and those kind of identities. And what happens is that their ego barrier comes up. So they are armed, they are guarded, they are feeling less psychologically safe.
Right.
So unless they find absolute psychological safety and full trust with the coach, they are not going to open up. So if I can use a metaphor to make that point, so they try showing us the photograph when there is actually a need of an X-ray.
Oh, beautiful, right.
So when we move,
Skin and bones, and just bones, no skins.
Absolutely. It's not really good to look at, but that's the only thing going to lead to better diagnosis and better remedies.
Yeah.
So what I try and do is that rather than they showing me the X-ray, I try and become a mirror so that they see the X-ray of themselves and accept themselves. Because the important thing is to see that this is my X-ray. How terrifying it is, how ugly it is, but that is my X-ray. So once they start accepting it, they start shifting their behaviors.
Beautiful. Acceptance is the moment where shifting happens.
Yes.
So beautiful.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, Pooja, in your coaching practice so far, has there been a moment where you felt challenged and you were not clear how to deal with it? And how do you manage those difficult moments where as coach we don't know what to do?
Yes, absolutely. There are a lot of challenges. The first of the challenges will always start with us, our own selves, and where we struggle, like, how to not run for the questions or not have a pre-prepared set of questions.
Yeah.
Or not think that, okay, while he's sharing something, he or she's sharing something, you prepare the next question in your head. So, that's exactly the moment where you're not supposed to do that. And you have to let it flow, because flow is a very important, as you said, sir, you had taught this once to us, that, how flow becomes an important aspect to create conversations which are more meaningful, more of dialogue and not discussions.
Yeah.
So that was one inner challenge that I faced, that, okay, why do I need to prepare that, why can't I just learn on the go? Right? I'm still learning and I'm always going to be a lifelong learner, because maybe the challenges right now may not be applicable some 10 years down the line, and coaching might be a different field at that point of time. But even like, famous players like cricket players like Virat Kohli, or, a lot of other players, they have their own coaches. A lot of football players have their own coaches. So and a lot of businessmen have their own coaches.
Yes.
So it's so important to, be in that constant zone that, okay, how are you not putting yourself into that rush, constant rush? That was one challenge that I faced, and how I overcame it was that there was one point of time I was like, okay, let me just be with that person. Maybe I may not have a breakthrough today, maybe I may be just like, okay, whatever next happens. And I just let that person talk the way they wanted to talk, and just open up the window. And I realized the more I flow, the better it gets. And the more people are able to, share in a very creative way. So suddenly people also start becoming creative. The coaches also start becoming creative. And when we talk about executive coaching, one of the challenges that does occur is, we run in the corporate world, we run by a lot of objectives, and working based on the objectives was an aspect which kind of created a challenge, that, okay, these are some parameters, where you have to ensure that the person is working and talking in the same way, and eventually after some 5th or the 6th coaching session we have to bring out some result. But everybody's coachable, but only if they want to, which so that kind of has to be well discussed beforehand, and that has to be clarified as well. So until the person don't work on themselves, that thing cannot happen if the person doesn't take action by themselves. So that can never happen. The changes cannot ever happen. So the funny part is, sir, what I have seen so far is that most of us understand a lot of concepts, a lot of ideas of world, and we are very, very intelligent. But I have seen very few people who are able to implement this concept or learning right there and then. The adaptability and the agility that we talk about.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, it's a very, very powerful point that you have made, and I fully subscribe to it. That I think the world is grappling with knowing-doing gap.
Yeah.
There is overload of information,
Right.
but to convert knowledge into action is where the real challenge lies.
Yes, so beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think a lot of times we struggle also that, how to put it into action.
Yes.
And that's what the third challenge was, that, people always ask, the coaches will always say, how to do it, you tell me.
Yeah.
How to do it.
Yes.
So in coaching, we can have as a part of our suggestion that, okay, I appreciate that, we can make some changes here, but still that we have to ensure that the action comes from the other person. And even if it's a small action.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. And small actions only, in a summary, it will help them to, absolutely. And Pooja, you are right there in the market. You are swimming in the high seas, right? There are so many coaches who are into the training right now. Many of them are scared that, what will happen if I go into the open market?
Yes.
What will happen? How much money I'll be able to make? Some coaches ask me that, okay, before enrolling, they say that, are there more coaches than the addressable client population?
True.
Because everybody calls themselves coach.
Very true.
So I said that, when you go on railway station also, you find a lot of coaches.
True. And there's so many relationship coaches. And when I ask them, okay, how is your relationship? Oh, no, I'm divorced.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. So if you want to share some insights from the marketplace, how tough or easy is the market, and anything on the monetary aspect, completely you can keep it if you want to keep it confidential, that also is fine. But generally on the prospects, if somebody is thinking they are in to be or not to be state, so should they jump or should they not?
I think to start with, I'll go from internal and then I'll come out external, because a lot of part of the business of coaching is related to how we think about ourselves and how much aware are we. So the moment, this is a people business. This is an absolute area where we are dealing with people. And when you're dealing with people, you're actually taking the responsibility of their transformation in a way. So what happens is that more authentic I am to myself, I will have my clear concepts in practical essence. Like I will be able to understand it, okay, what it means to have a focus on strengths and building on that. Normally what happens is we will pick out some negative point. We'll ask that, okay, what is the problem? And then we try to, do something around the problem.
Yeah.
But it is equally important that how much are you able to appreciate yourself? Like Louis Hay, she has a beautiful perspective. She always had a beautiful perspective. Heal your life. So we are not creating sustainable foundations wherein that coaching segment can actually maturely grow. So if we really want to get into the the pool of coaching, and genuinely we are wanting to work on ourselves, because the more I transform the other person, the more I have to challenge myself. Technically that person is challenging me as well. So I have to understand that how much I can be more authentic, because more belief I'll have in myself, more authentically I'll work, the better I can reach out to the mass number of people. Now if I start off the business with the perspective that, okay, ये कोचिंग, अब मैंने कोचिंग का डिग्री ले लिया है, ACC, PCC, MCC, I've done it, so I should have at least 10,000 per hour. That's not how it works. That doesn't work like that. It is basically that I have to inbuilt within me that, like literally there was one point of time I used to, every single time, still I do, that, I'll before going to a coaching session, I'll pray that to God, today give me that much strength to understand that I say only those words and those questions which are going to help them. And I don't beat around the bush or, don't say other things which are not required. And you suddenly start realizing that, okay, these are the pool of people who automatically comes attracting towards you. Because the more, as I said, the more I meet myself, more deeply I meet myself, more number of people will meet me there.
Yeah.
And I will be able to make them meet themselves. So that is what we are exactly supposed to do. So when we are going out in the market, we will be very confident, because I know that, where am I? The mirror that we are showing to other people, first of all, we have to see ourselves in the mirror that, okay, where are you, Pooja? What kind of illusions are you living in? Technically, life is an illusion at the end of the day. But what illusion am I in right now? And I have to challenge that illusion and realize that, okay, this is where I am. And doesn't mean that makes me a less of a coach, but at least that awareness makes me more of a stronger coach.
Yeah, absolutely.
So going out in the market, it's not going to be difficult, but to create a sustainable coaching journey, that is going to be difficult, because we have to keep asking ourselves the question first. We have to learn the art of self-coaching with ourselves first.
Wow. So you are saying that first you have to meet your truest self.
Yes.
And then
that's the first step,
from there you go forward.
Yes.
Yeah. And also I'm getting a takeaway from what you have beautifully said is that before you want to make a difference to the client, have you made a difference to yourself?
Yes. Beautiful. Absolutely.
So that's really amazing. And if you want to be the mirror for the client, first you have to
be a mirror.
Polish yourself.
Yes.
And be a mirror to yourself. Wow.
Beautiful.
Amazing.
So, sir, when you started, I always had this question, when you started your coaching journey, how difficult was for you to create a space in the coaching market?
Yeah, I think when I started about 13 years ago, today it looks like before India's independence. And
you don't look that old.
Yeah, I know. People who look at me from the front say that, but who look at me from behind say that, okay, uncle, how are you? And I am happily accepting that. So people also call me that, you are good at spreading humor. I said, see, now in this age, there are no chances of rumor. So only humor is working.
Right.
So
humor is a part of the coaching journey.
It's a part of coaching journey. Yes, absolutely. So, at that time, when I utter the word that I am into coaching, so they used to ask, okay, physics, chemistry, mathematics, biology. I said, no. Okay, so it is NEET, JEE. What sort of coaching are you in? CBSE board, ICSE board? I said, no, I am not that coach. But they were sure, because while looking at me, they knew that this guy cannot be a sports coach. So then what is coaching? Then I had to explain to them. So awareness was a big issue. So initially I had to run my house with the income of workshops, facilitation, training, consulting. But ICF certification definitely helped, because corporates even today are the biggest buyer of coaching services globally. So when I started approaching corporates, they found, oh, you are a coach. There are very few certified coaches in India. Oh, we are looking for a coach like you. Can you come? So I used to travel a lot because of that. And that is also one of the secret sources of my happily married life. I still travel a lot today. So, and practice listening skills when I am at home. And don't try to coach at home, because it never works. So this
do it at your own risk.
Own risk, yes. Yeah. So it definitely, there was a challenge. Today there is less of a challenge. But the challenge, what I see is that's a problem of plenty. Because people are not able to differentiate, and hence ICF hashtag experience coaching comes into the picture. So once they've experienced your coaching, then they buy into your coaching services.
So beautiful. Yeah. So you never felt that the result, the person is not listening, that person has to think on the right track. So did you ever feel like that I need to get him on the right track?
Yeah, it was always there. Now it is not there, but for a long period of time, I was also in that solutionist mode, that this is the path that client should go on to. This is the path that they should take, otherwise they won't reach. Now that sort of a scenario is not there now, but I think that's a journey. And when I teach coaching now, I try and cut down that learning curve for other coaches so that they don't have to take a long winded path. They can straight away reach there.
Absolutely.
So
Beautiful.
yeah. And also, Pooja, say there are so many people now looking to become a coach. Okay, there are courses in 399 rupees. They become certified life transformation coach in 3 hours training. That also is there. And one is ICF path that you have taken, which is competencies, ethics, tools, techniques, methods, models, processes. So what would you advise to somebody who is considering to become a coach today, and but not very sure whether they should or they should not?
Right. So, guru is very important, and who's going to teach you? So you have to be very clear on. If I start from there, that who's going to be the teacher, who's going to teach you what coaching really is.
Yeah.
Because if I never liked mathematics. One of the reasons was I did not like my maths teacher, and she used to slap children, and I used to be like, oh, I don't like mathematics. And I realized that why did I never like it? Because I can still do it irrespective. I'm a very right brainer. So we have to understand that under whom are you training yourself to start with. And secondly, if you have to look for some credentials and credibility of what that organization is holding. See, certifications can be beautiful. On the prima facie, they'll have big numbers, and you'll end up paying big amount of money and everything under the sun. But what really will stay with you is the experience that you will get throughout the training. And coaching training sessions, the learning under coaching, as I learned from you, it is never like we will have some bookish knowledge and we have to, okay, chapter number 5, this is what you have to come and read. It's never like that. It is actually a matured space where the thought process is also given, and then we have to start reflecting on that as deeply as possible. And we have to see it from different perspectives. Because perspectives is the key, in this coaching segment. So look for a good teacher. I would always recommend, Ujjaval sir, because I just, love, and I'm very blessed that, I had this training under you, because I wouldn't have loved coaching as much as it was for you. So that has to come from the teacher. And secondly, the credentials of the organization. It don't just go just because some LinkedIn or some Instagram is saying, oh, coach, and they're coming out with some session, 3 घंटे का workshop में हम लोग coaching से. Don't go by that. And they, people are very good at marketing, but very few marketers I've seen that who can actually talk what it is inside and how much they're aligned. So that part you have to search. And you have to really look through people that, okay, when you are doing coaching, what difference have you really made? So that has to be understood. And imagine when you are coming from a space where it's 13 years, when coaching was not even a word that time. And you used to actually think that it's a sports coach, just a sports coach. And suddenly there are so many segments where coaching is becoming a primary importance, because it's not about the masses, it's all about the expertise. So take the expert advice. And one of the best way is to actually talk to people who are already in the field. And, they will share their plus minus all the kinds of experiences. And ICF has been a beautiful federation where, even after finishing the credentials and after finishing the journey of lessons, you are still a part of that entire organization. And that part is in such a way where people from all across the world, they will come on, they will have this coaching week and, different seminars and different ways of learning from different people. So through those things, we have to remain updated. It's not like they're going to release some document that, okay, today's chapter is, or today's books, you have to read about this. The conversations, and we have to be a part of those conversations, be a part of the larger market, because it's a very non-competitive space to start with. So ICF helps to reach to and network with more number of people. And more number of people, which means that, that person can be in Spain. Or I was speaking to one person in Pakistan, that the kind of conversation I had was like, this person is so much profound. and what the kind of image I had versus the image I had of the country. It's quite irony, but people over there are so profound. So, that's how you realize that, oh my God, okay, so, coaching is really helping people in ripples and ripples. So, ICF actually helps us to connect with more number of people, and it stays with you. It is not. It never leaves you. It stays with you. You enroll yourself. You sign up for that. You have fees. You pay the fees or whatever, and then you start getting more and more number of coaches, more and more number of people across the globe who are in the same and trying to make their mark. And we get to have conversations from different cultures. That is the essence. So we never have one perspective. So I think that these are the few things that a person can take care of while in the coaching journey when they're choosing one of it.
And maybe as final question, do you see future of coaching is going to be brighter than today, or it is going to be more difficult?
So that was a question I had been searching for, past 1 year, to be honest. And the future of coaching is absolutely bright. We need to create more coaches within the organization so that they can have more coaches under them, and they can build their, their mindset, their belief system, their alignment, purpose, all of the words, the big words. But the idea is that when we talk about training sessions, we create more leaders. But actually, how are we going to create leaders with a mass of some 30, 35, 45 or 200 people together? We have to really literally go one-on-one, and we have to figure a way out to start meeting more people who are really wanting to make a difference. And coaching is the only modality how we can do that. Because when we are talking about coaching, we are talking about more number of people in their aligned zone. And more number of people in their aligned zone, which means that I am in my aligned zone, which means that they are also going to attract more number of people who are in that same segment. So the future is very bright. If we see the market share of the coaching industry is nearly in billions now, and it's a beautiful space because the very interesting and ironical thing is, even my family, who are not into any of the people skill business, I say, okay, I'm an executive coach, I'm doing this coaching. They're like, oh yeah, there's a lot of coaches around. Oh, okay, executive coach, I've heard a lot of people. So that awareness has also started building up within houses. And I also believe that every house should have one coach and one healer. So, that will kind of reduce the medical bills also.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. Okay, so thank you for confirming that the future of coaching is bright.
Yes.
And if I can share my version.
Yes, sir.
See, in this world today, we see that there is less love and more hate.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So I tell, coaches, our community who have trained with me, whenever my next cohort is starting, I tell them that, if you love someone and want to reward them, you want to recommend them, please send them to my cohort.
True.
But if you hate someone and want to punish someone, you should definitely send them to my cohort because they are going to ask for your forgiveness very soon. So please treat this training program as a punishment mechanism for them, and you will have a great, time sitting on the side and watching them.
Yeah.
So thank you, Pooja. Lovely connecting with you. Thank you for your insights, and all the best with your credentialing journey further, because this world needs coaching and coaches more than ever before.
Absolutely.
And coaches like you are in more demand and less availability.
Very true. I totally agree. Thank you so much, sir.
Most welcome.
And like attracts like. Your teaching attracted me as a student to you. So thank you so much for having me here.
Pleasure.
It was great talking today.
Absolutely. Thank you, Pooja.
Yes, thank you.
Lovely
sir.
meeting you.
Thank you.
Thank you.